Hello, listeners. Hi, my name is Madhavi, and I'm so happy to have you on UppTalk. You have come to the right place if you want to learn about IT and do really cool things with your hands. We are not just another IT company when I say UppTalk. Think of us as your learning partner dedicated to helping you reach your full potential. We have top notch hands on courses to help you build your business, whether you're new to technology or want to move up in your current job. Let's look around this as our first step towards learning.
Now what we're going to do, here we are going to configure the watch selectors. We will complete the watch selectors actually and then we can go for the other adapters. Now, like we already saw, the sample selectors, right? Similarly, there are like watch selectors also available like the sample selector, connection set, authentication selector. We have seen, right? Differentiating based on the connections, right? The sample connection. The same kind of selector which is also available in the OAuth. Basically, the same kind of a configuration which is also available in the OAuth. To differentiate the client ID basically, that is known as OAuth client set selector basically. Sample connection in order to differentiate it. Like we can add the sample connection into the selector, right? If you try to access that application. If that connection is there in the selector, then it will take it as a yes option. If the application is not there in the selector, it will take it as a no option, right? Similarly, the client ID, we are creating, right, the authorization code granted the client ID, client underscore auth, client underscore implicit, like that we have created, right? We can able to add that client ID into the selector. If we try to access that client ID means it would take it as a yes option in the policy. The client ID, which is not there in the selector, it will take it as a no option in the policy. Actually, that is the OAuth client set selector. And then, like in sample, we have seen one selector called query parameter selector, right? Differentiating user type is equal to admin user type is equal to normal, right? The same query parameter which is also available in the OAuth actually. The same kind of a parameter, the same kind of a use case. Here, we can call this as a ACRA selector or authentication context request parameter selector, or we can also call this as a query parameter selector for OAuth actually. ACR authentication context request parameter selector or query parameter selector for the OAuth. And other one. The next one is that is known as the OAuth scope selector. Like if your passing email address means it will take this one adapter. If you're not, if you add one scope in the selector and if you add that scope in the connection, means then that scope is there, means it will take it as a yes option in policy. If you are not adding that scope in the policy, means it will in the connection, means it will take it as a no option. OAuth scope, actually that is that is the least used case. There is no use case basically, but this selector is available. And that is one final one that is known as the extended property selector. This is like a universal selector, but even like whatever we are seeing, like this is also not that much useful actually, but we can see that. Extended property selector. Let's see this one. First of all, what is that? OAuth client set selector, right? Let's do that. Create a new instance here. First of all, OAuth client set selector. And also write whatever the selector, we are using it for OAuth, right? It will be working only for the authorization code grant type and then the implicit. Actually, other grant types, it won't work actually. We know, right? The refresh token is not a direct grant type, the rob the no adapter. Client grant type, no user authentication, right? These are all reference and tokens. Yes, only for the authorization code grant type and then the implicit where authentication is occurring, Write that OAuth client set selector. Click on Net. Oh, I think can you remove the underscore in the instance ID? Here you can add the client ID here. Like how we are adding the SAML connection, right? The same way, you can add the client underscore auth actually to it. For yes option, you can choose one adapter. For no option, you can choose the another adapter actually. Click on next. Only one is fine because we are having only two client ID, right? Save it. Now let's go to the policy and create a policy there. Here OAuth client set selector, right? Choose the client set selector. Scroll down. Choose for the no option, right? Maybe for no option, you can choose the HTTP. For yes option, you can choose the HTML. For success is policy contract, right? Choose the policy contract in the drop-down. Here in the drop-down, you are seeing one local identity profile, right? In the drop-down, you are seeing the local ID adapters. You are seeing selectors. We have seen, right? Here, no in the drop-down itself. That is one local identity profile. One option will be there. No in the drop-down itself, can you? You are choosing the policy contract, right? In that drop-down, you are seeing the local identity profile, right? That we will see it actually. That one, we will see it in the ping directory as a yield up actually. When you are going to, once you complete the ping for it, we will discuss in the ping directory one actually. Choose the adapter and then the username. The same settings, actually click on next. Next and save it. Scroll down. Can you do the same thing for the HTML adapter? Click on next source as adapter and then username. Click on next, and then save it. Scroll down and click on done, which means if it is an authorization code granted, we will get the form login. If it is an implicit, it should be the yes basic adapter. Scroll down, but for implicit, like how this gonna be triggered. I mean every time. No, you need to move this policy to the number 1. Actually, you need to move the policy to above that like CID, right? Then it will go inside that the OAuth configuration. It will go inside this one and then it will check it's not there. Then it will go to the, implicit is going to the OAuth selector. It's not there. It is going to the no option actually. But that is actually not required, right? No. Definitely it will go. Actually, because this OAuth client set selector, it is used to differentiate the SAML and basically it's not. The no option, it will be giving the continue only. Why? Because we will be adding all the OAuth client into the OAuth selector only. We are not going to left out anything. This is used to differentiate the SAML or OAuth actually. We are going to differentiate whether it is a SAML or OAuth configuration. Actually, that is why we are going to use the OAuth client set selector. Then we will be after that, and we are having the connection set selector right for the SAML. That is what one policy for OAuth, one policy for the same. My point is no for no option. No, that's fine. for no option, if you put the like, I mean continue, right, it will go to the next policy. Actually, where we should mention continue here, Vinay. In the no right, instead of adapter, just in the cancel that STF basic adapter. No in the STF basic adapter cross, click on the cross. In the drop down, choose continue there. If you could see, right, that's all. It will go to the next policy actually. Next policy. Exactly. It won't go here. It will go to the next policy. If you are configuring the SAM as the next policy, then it will go there. But whatever the OAuth client enabled for this client set should only trigger this stuff, right? Yes, exactly. If you didn't add any client, any not in here means then it won't work. Actually, it will go to the next policy. And then if there is no policy for OAuth, it will get failed. I mean, anyways, it will go for a universal policy. If there is anything which it will go, that one actually. But what is the best practice? Best practice to identify whether it is the OAuth configuration. For OAuth configuration, we will be having separate policy. Actually, you can put that OAuth configuration at anywhere in your policy actually and use that selector actually. You can add all the OAuth client ID here into the selector, and then for your option, choose whatever you want to choose it, right. According to the condition, you can trigger it. For no option, you can simply click on the continue. Continue means it will go to the next policy. If there is no OAuth client ID, if it is a SAML, means it will go directly to the next step, actually next policy. Because then this is the expected, right? Yes, click. But now if we enable the HTTP basic, if I add for no option, you will be getting the HTTP basic adapter because just for demonstrating purpose, we are adding it, but there is no use date. That is my use actually. If you want, there will be a use. If, for example, let's say like there are certain kind of application, they are asking for, hey, we are having 5 client ID for our configuration actually. 5 client. In that they are asking 2 client ID. We need one kind of an adapter for another 3 client ID. They are asking for another adapter means we can able to change it actually. Those whatever which should be left out should be in a no policy. Regarding the no policy, then click on Done. Can you move the policy about that? You're in a C IO, right? Can you move it to the above C idea? But we are using policy contract, right? Then why we should? No, CIDR is also using the policy one, right? The same policy contract. In that case, like how do we manage? Is this the only option? I mean, if you're using the same policy, contract means it will be. You need to move the policies actually. That is what in real time we will be using a separate policy contracts actually. Whenever it is required, we will be generating the separate policy contract that you don't need to do the change at the policy level actually. No, you don't need to move it. Save it. I mean, you don't need to move it that much actually. Only CID policy is the one, right? That's fine. We can just keep it. Now, can you try to access the authorization code granted with the PKC method? No, you don't need to go to that much actually. You got the login screen right, that's all. Whether it is triggering the exact adapter or not, that's enough actually. Now can you copy that implicit and then put it right? I think it will. The session is there now. Can you try it in the in-kind window? Next selector, see what I mean. There is the ACR selector right. Authentication context request parameter selector actually. That is the same thing. The only difference in the SAML query parameter and then the OAuth query parameter. Selector right. In SAML query parameter, you need to provide the query parameter right user type like that. That parameter name, you need to give it right. Here for OAuth right, you don't need to specify because the query parameter, it's a syntax actually. ACR underscore values. Actually, that parameter will be acting as a variable name called ACR underscore values. Actually, that I mean in the URL and alright. At the URL, there will be opponent. This query parameter as ACR underscore values is equal to admin or ACR underscore values is equal to normal, like that actually. Its values actually everything in lowercase only. Values in plural. The same use case which we have discussed for the request parameter, right? The same thing actually. Can you go back to the authentication and then you can add the selectors. Here authentication context. I can put simply ACR. Actually, that's also enough. But these are all not that much important selector. Actually, we never use this kind of selectors. But anyways, request Auth and write. It's their requested Auth and context selector. Click on next. Now here, click on next. The query parameter in SAML sector you have given, but here you don't need to give it actually because it's already there, ACR underscore values. Here the values you can able to give admin or normal right. Like that you can give it actually. But what is this when I enable low match, not in request? No match means, for example, if you're passing like any other match right. For example, let's say right, if you're passing a CR underscore values is equal to, instead of admin or reader normal, means you're passing any other values, means you can put no match actually. If it is not in request means you're not passing, it means that is also you can put. You can bring another adapter also actually, or you can also give the continue. It will go to the next. Anyways, you're right, it will go to the next policy only if you're not giving the ACR underscore values, not in request. You don't need to specify that one also actually. It's actually meant to the value for ACR, and this actually meant to the ACR underscore values, and this meant to the request. It's not there. It's not there in there. I mean, if it is not there anyways, it is going to the next policy only, but policy is concerned, all the policies will get executed whenever the request comes. Whenever the request comes, it will start from the first policy. Actually, whenever the policy contract, wherever it is there right, till that policy, it will get executed, it will get failed actually. For example, if the policy got a number 1 right, you are using that one means if you're giving it as a fifth option means it will go to the first policy getting failed. Policy contract number 1 is not there. Here, policy contract number 1 is steering the top itself. That will get executed actually. If you're putting that policy contract, I mean if you're putting the policy contract is there in fifth option, means then it will go to the first post policy getting failed. second policy failed, third policy failed, fourth policy failed, and then fifth policy, only it is having the policy contract right. Then it will get executed, that one actually. But anyways, in ping farm, even if it is a OAuth or like XML connection, it will start from the first policy only. Here we are creating a lot of policies actually. Make sure, you are in production, right? Make sure you're having one general policy for the SIL, one general policy for the OAuth. Actually, make sure most of the applications are using that one actually. Yes, failure is done. Success is policy contract, and then choose the same thing. But this is not required. Only when there is a chain of adapter we are supposed to. No, only in the chain next adapter it is configured right. The FA adapter, only for the FA adapter is required. Contract mapping, yes. No, this is done. This is done. Click on that. No. Can you click on the ACR policy one more time? Scroll down. Oh no, you need to only. You did only the admin. You didn't add that normal. Can you add one more actually? Yes, the same configurations only. Contract mapping. The same thing. It's correct. Only click on done and can you move the policy? No, you need to move it above that client set. That's done. Now can you, even you can take one endpoint actually and then add the like upon the query parameter. The same way, right? No, you already ready. It's already there, the question mark. You need to add the ampersand only because if you could see right, the query parameter is already there. Like you are going to give another condition. That's all. That means ampersand. It's not a OR symbol. It's an ampersand because we need to select all the configurations right. That's why. ACR underscore values is equal to admin. I think this configuration is already there. Sorry, the session. Paste it. Got it. The same URL there. Can you change it to the got it? No, I think why the session is automatically taken. But even though it is an incognito window, oh, maybe if there is any other incognito window which is already having a session. I see no, it's already there, taking that it's implicit right. Can you close that one? Can you check if there is any other? Can you try it here itself? Can you try? Oh, that's fine. Based on the OR scope, right? What other scope? We are having it in the client area, right? For example, Can you go back and select the selectors there? Create a new instance or scope select. Click on next. Choose the you can put. If you put OpenID here, right, then if you put scope is equal to OpenID, it will take it as a yes option actually. If you put both of them, it will expect both of them in the AP call. Actually, click on next. Is it in the AP call or in the OAuth client? No, in the AP call. Actually, they need to pass it. Scope is equal to OpenID like that. If you're passing scope is on the email, it won't work. It will take it as a no option in the policy. No, you need to set up a policy. These are all not that much. There is no use case, and how we can able to, check what is the use case for this one, right? Basically, not that much required actually. Even for the ACR policy, right? ACR selector also, there is only one use case. In order to connect to the ping access and then the ping ferrite, right? That is the only selector will be used actually. SCR select. If you're using only the ping ferrite, not that much configuration will be there for the ACR. But if it is connecting from ping access to ping ferrite, that is the only selector. It's mandatory, basically. Click on that. Here, if I pass profile, it should do the HTML form. If I don't pass, it should trigger the basic, that is the OpenID. If you're passing, the scope is equal to OpenID, then it will take it as a yes option. If you're passing, the scope is equal to email or nothing value, means it will take it as a no option. Click on next, and then done. Scroll down, click on done. Can you move the policy? Now OpenID, just copy and paste it there in the browser. Now open ID, no, not there in the client. ID whenever you restrict it, right? Can you click on that? Client is equal to or? Yes, can you check both of them? Because for testing purpose, right? No, just check for that. If I don't check this, if I still have it in the OpenID, that won't work. It won't give you a problem. It won't give you a problem, right? No. Otherwise, I should not check, or else just don't check it. Actually, that's fine. Just hit it. OpenID scope is open. ID, let's see. Oh no, I think it's already taking the session. It is still there. Oh no. No, not here actually. No, that is fine, but I just want to pick the changes are not reflected. OAuth client. No, this is fine. You can just, this is like after the authentication, actually. Can you go back? You already chosen the OpenID, right? I have given OpenID here. Now, if you could see, scope is equal to OpenID, right? Now, can you in the same thing, scope is equal to email, put it there. And then try it. It will take a different adapter. That was taking the existing one. You can leave it. You just have to. When you're doing some changes, you need to start from the fresh one actually. You can able to see the difference, right? Like extended property, this is like one of the, the most useless selector in the Pinkbird. Actually, I would say, it will work for both of them, actually SAML and OAuth. But the thing is that, right? Sorry, but we never find any kind of use case for this actually extended property. No, before that. Sorry, guys. Still, I'm having some, throat problem actually. Can you go to the system? Here in the external property, right? Can you click on that external property? Here you can. You need to add some external property. Maybe we can add some property value, like we can add the same admin and tester here. Actually, we can add the admin and tester. Add. Now, can you go to the OAuth client heading? For client underscore auth, right, you can add the external properties equal to admin. No, in the top. Can you go to the top? Oh, can you go back to that? No. Can you go back to the system, the external property again? Delete both of them actually. Just put the parameter user type actually. Now can you go back to the OAuth client heading? In the top right. No, go to the top. External property is there now. Click on that one. For user type, choose admin here. And then for implicit grant type, choose the tester there actually and save it. Based on this, we can also differentiate it actually. Add it and then save it. Now, can you go back to the selector and then external property selector, choose the external property, and then for the parameter value, we can give, yes, the user type. Now we can put in the value admin and tester. The same use case of how the query parameter, but this is for two different client headings. We can add it actually. Click on next. No, click on next. Here you can choose the admin and tester, the same value which we add for the query parameter, right? It's like similar to the query parameter selector, but little bit some differences actually. In that case, we can just add one role to the OAuth client. It exactly only one role you cannot add. You cannot add two more than one actually. That is like one of the restriction. But the thing is that it's like, there is not that much use case available for the external property. Like the use case which you have seen for the like HTTP request parameter or like ACR selector. Those two are different actually. But this one is totally different. Can you click on the policies? Let's create a policy. Scroll down. You're understanding right the concept. Yes. It's a simple one only. Nothing much. Now choose admin for some adapter and then for normal. Oh, sorry, tester, you can choose another adapter. username, click on next, next, and then it's done. That's all. Can you move the policy to the app? Now try the authorization code grinder without the query parameter and then try it. But even this will get triggered, right? Sorry, that one also. It won't work because the priority will be there. Again, try the open another tab and try the impression there. It will trigger another set of adapters. This is known as the external property selector. Understood the concepts of policy selectors and adapters, right? Oh, good. This is known as the adapters, policies, and selectors, the SML connections, and then the OAuth configurations. We have seen the issuances criteria and then the certificate. We have seen that TP servers actually forgot password, reset password, change password, and all right. And then username recovery. We have seen issuance criteria, original expressions, and then the customizations of the HTML form adapter like UID plus mail address authentication. And then, we have seen the SO federated single sign-on, SAML, or the LDAP operations we have seen right for the ping directory, right? All good till now, everything is good. It's been good. Now the next one, you said how to enable the authentication API, right? First of all, let's enable only the API today. Tomorrow, we will see it in elaborate manner. Tomorrow, we'll see the authentication API and then as well as the admin APIs, both of them. Actually, it's like small topic only. Just we can go through that one, how we can able to create the flow ID and all. Can you go to the authentication in the left-hand side integration? Here, authentication API applications. Now create check that enable authentication API. Enable API Explorer. Everything is good. Scroll down, add authentication application. Give some name for this, put API and all actually. But why it is required? The authentication API. No, you need to enable. You need to enable the ping thread rate as an API methodology, right? That's why we are enabling this one actually. For example, no, I've seen this, but not sure what is the use case. Know the use case. If you are using the HTML formal after as a normal adapter, right? The log in adapter, right? Log in screen, you are throwing it actually. Same the authentication, that is an API available for the HTML adapter. Actually, you can able to do in the backend method, actually not in the front end method. Front end, they can use any kind of a log in screen they want, whatever they can able to use it actually. Then they can pass the username and password in the AP. I call and then the HTML adapter will validate it actually. We can able to use that one, not throwing the log in screen by ourselves actually. the same kind of OAuth configuration. Only this OAuth configuration will stay the same actually whenever they are triggering, right? Instead of throwing the log in screen to us for the authorization core grant type, anyways, we are going to trigger the adapter, right? That triggering the adapter, we are not going to trigger it by ourselves. They are going to trigger the adapter through the AP. I call actually through the endpoint. Like to the endpoint, I mean like how they are creating the OAuth API, right? Like authorization auth 2, that similarly there is an endpoint available for the HTML adapter to check the username and password to get the username and password. That is one API. To check whether to check the correct username and password, that is one API is available actually. There are two APIs to verify it actually that we will see it actually. To enable those things, right? By default, it won't work actually. You need to enable it actually. To enable it, we are going to enable the authentication API. This is not that much use cases are available because it's not that much secured. Also, why? Because we are asking them to pass the username and password in the API, right? Obviously, we already saw the same thing. The same procedure, we have seen it in the ops, right? This same thing here, but in a different manner. Actually, that is the only difference. This authentication API is also only working for the OAuth configuration, not for the SAML. It won't work for the SAML because we know, right? SAML is a restricted one. We cannot use it for the salmon process actually, but this is like a little bit some interesting actually. Let's see that. Which means we don't see the login screen at all when we enable the authentication API. It's not only for the HTML adapter, it's for different adapters. You can also reset the password and all different use cases. It's not only for that purpose actually. One of the example I have given you, the URL will be, the endpoint is, can you copy that? You are ping pf with for me. It's like memorized for me actually /authn/explorer. Now the load origin, right? You just copy the same up to 9 to 31 and put it in the load origin. And I'll remove that pf and I'll remove the slash. Add it. That's all. Now save it. Clients. No, that one. We don't need to manage it here. We can directly enable it in the OAuth clients actually. Now choose the save it now here. Now click on the API application there. Can you copy that? Click on that one. Copy that URL which you have created and open another tab and put it in the browser. This is just a document that you can able to use it actually. Scroll down. Scroll down to the bottom. No, why it is not showing anything. Oh, is there any change happened? Scroll to the top a little bit. Can you just click on the what is ping FIDO authentication API? Can you download the Postman collection? We'll download it in the Postman actually. We don't want to do it here. Can you go back to the Postman and then import this one? I don't import it in this collection. I think it will be included in a different collection only. Oh no, it's loading. Wait a minute. Now if you could see right, it is there for all the adapters actually, but only for the adapter configuration and all. Here we will be seeing this one. In a little bit, we will test this one tomorrow. First of all, in the get current state, right? Expand that one. First of all, every time we need to start from the get flow ID. When you are hitting right, can you go back to the browser? Can you hit that, your ping finder, any authorization code? There will be any URL there. First of all, it will generate you the flow ID. In the browser itself, we can able to see it. No, wait. If you could see right. No, it's there now. Before resume, there is one no in the top right. If you could see, that is your flow ID actually. First of all, before authentication, it will get the flow ID. That is what? You need to get the flow ID first. Once you get the flow ID right, then can you go back to the postman? That is what? This is the get flow ID, right? This is the one actually. This one is used to get the flow ID, that URL we will be doing it. Actually, that is what the URL you mentioned, right? If you go back to that one, can you go back that OAuth endpoint, right? Which you did actually. The OAuth endpoint, that client underscore authorization code, grant, right, that one. That you have copy pasted, right? That is the one actually. This one, yes, this is the one actually. This one is used to get the flow ID. Once you get the flow ID, you can go back to that. Can you go back to the postman? Once you just try to hit it. Let's see. Paste it there. Oh no, not this one. Oh no, we need to enable that flow ID there also actually. No, it's a get method only. Just try to send it. It should have to show one error actually. It's not enabled. Why this? Giving the body and all actually. That's weird. Can you put it as a post method? It's authorization code grantable. It should have to create the anyway. That's fine. We didn't get, oh sorry. We need to get the we need to enable the API we need to enable it in the client ID also actually. It is taking generally. That's fine. That we will see it. Once you get the client ID, once you get the flow ID, then we can able to check the username and password required, right? That will be getting the username and password. Then like action. That is the next HTML adapter which is used to get the username and password. Then it will trigger the what is that? We can able to verify the username and password. And then it will give the access token for you. Please do like, share and subscribe to our channel. For more information, contact us sales@therightuptalk.com.